Purchasing rare collectibles at a massive premium per ounce? Genius financial move? Or am I ripping myself off? Let's get into the video. Hello everyone, Silverstruck here. Welcome to the Silverstruck channel. This is a classic debate, right? The difference between stacking and collecting. I think that you should do a little bit of both. You can see here that I have part of my generic silver stack out, and you can see also I have some nice vintage collectible silver that was purchased at large premiums. So let's have a look at the stacking end of things. It's very simple. Here we have a generic Buffalo round. Nothing special. They produce millions of these, and they move strictly on the price of silver. So you purchase it at price A, and then later on, hopefully silver goes way up in price, and you sell it at price B, and you realize some gains. That's basically it. So it can be quite boring stacking silver, but we're not into it for anything other than protecting our wealth. If you're interested in stacking precious metals, most of you will come to that conclusion of protecting wealth. But how about other gains that you can make here and also having a little bit of fun? And that's where collecting comes in, although you have to be careful and collect the right items to be able to realize good gains. But we can get into that a little bit more here. I'll talk about one particular type of round that I'm into, and I've showed before. These are the 1986 Everest rounds, and now I've accumulated 3 of them. And 2 recently off eBay, you can see here, and then one that I had found at a coin shop. So this is one of those rare rounds I was actually able to find at a local coin shop. So one of the reasons why I like these particular Everest rounds is because of the mintage. So when you're dealing with collectibles, you want to make sure that you're dealing with something that's definitely a little bit more on the rare side, because you're going to have that ratio of how many of these items are out there versus what the collector market is. Are there more collectors than there are rounds? In this particular case, for the Everest round, it's highly sought after because it's an Engelhard, and Engelhard is a very, very popular name among vintage silver collectors. And with a mintage of only 500, you would definitely say that's rare. You compare something like this right here in vintage silver with a 500 mintage to anything that's made here, and it's not even close. These are super, super common, made every single day. They're going to make more and more of them, but these are just becoming rarer and more rare as time goes on. They had stopped making them in 1986. So I do have some more pickups to share with you, and I'll talk a little bit more about my strategy here with collecting versus stacking. Again, I do both, but I've been really into collecting as silver price has continued to climb. So here we have 5 ounces picked up from an online store. The store is Silver Bar Stacker, SBS. I'll leave a link to his store in the description of this video if you're interested. If you haven't heard of this particular store, it's basically a vintage store, and so it's one that I'm interested in looking at. And so I was able to pick up some items, some gaps in my collection that I needed. And so the first one up here is a Montana Treasure State round, 1986. And you may have seen me talk about this in the Engelhard version, but as we flip this one over, you can see in the bottom here, this one is actually a Johnson Matthey. 3 nines pure. Very nice round. What I do like about the store here from SBS is that it's organized, very professionally done. So here we have it in a plastic package, and everything's labeled. And as you read here, you can see that it was Sigma verified, the brand, the production types there, the metal, the weight in the year. Sometimes there's even a mintage if there's a mintage to be had. This one's beautiful. One really kind of cool thing about this round here, as you can see through the plastic, it's actually still in its original packaging from Johnson Matthey. So this one comes to me in its original OP. And I do have, here's one right here. Here's the Engelhard version. You can see the E at the bottom of the round versus the JM. So that's another really kind of neat thing about these, is that some of these refiners made the same type of silver. So that happens quite a bit between specifically Engelhard and Johnson Matthey. Sometimes you'll see the same exact product produced, just with different logos because they're made from the two different refiners, but they're the exact same type of product. Moving on from there, let's check out another one. This was another needed gap in the collection. So here we have a 1975. You can see on the front, Steve Knit. And then on the reverse, Steve Co-Wovens. Really neat round. These are Engelhard produced rounds. And if we check out the information on the back here, you can look and see the mintage is only 5,000. So although something like the Everest is a 500 mintage, so that would definitely be rare, no doubt about it. This one, let's just call it scarce at 5,000. Still much more rare if you're comparing it to something of high production value, highly produced like these guys right here. But in the world of vintage, we'll call that one scarce. I have a one in here that I picked up before, showed another video. This one's a 1977. So this one has a lower mintage than the 75. Beautiful rounds. So let's also talk about condition. There's a striking similarity between numismatic coins in these particular rounds. So you have two different types of rarities to consider. It's talked about a lot in numismatics. You have the mintage rarity, right? How many were produced? The fewer, the more rare that is. But then you also have condition rarity, which is, again, talked about in numismatics quite a bit. So that's another factor right there, is to find some of these rounds in pristine shape. It makes them even more rare and more valuable as time goes on. This next group of rounds, there's 3 of them. This was kind of a fun mini collection to be able to pick up, and very difficult to do outside of that SBS website. That's one of the advantages to checking out that site, is that if you went to eBay, you'd have possibly 3 individual auctions, or if you were trying to find these out in the wild, you'd have to go to coin shops and coin stores. It takes a ton of time, a lot of time to be able to track this stuff down. So let's have a look-see at what the pickups are. And these are all Liberty trade units. This one's a 1986. And look at the condition this one's in. Call that brilliant uncirculated, if you will. Another term stolen from the numismatic world. So we flip this one over. You can see here there's an E at the bottom left. Look at that round, just beautiful. And we can see also mintage of 5,000. Beautiful Engelhard. I did not have this one in the collection. Just never found it. You can't find some of these things out in the wild. If you stumble across anything like this, whether it's in bad condition or good, definitely pick it up because they're on the scarce side, and really, really nice rounds to be able to have for potential upside value in the future. Next one up's a 1985. Again, another round in stunning condition. We flip it over, you can see that E right there at the bottom left. This one is a higher minted round here. We have 10,000 made by Engelhard. So an 85, a little bit higher mintage. What a beautiful piece to have in the collection. So glad to have 2 of those there. And then the last round up here, another Liberty trade unit, 1985. So what's special about this one? I'm going to flip it over. And on that bottom left, there is no E. That is a Johnson Matthey. So this is the Johnson Matthey version yet again. So now you have that similarity between Johnson Matthey and Engelhard producing the same type of silver. No mintage to report. This is 1985. Just a beautiful round. So there you have it. You've got some nice pickups. Some more on the rare side. Some definitely scarce. But definitely silver that I enjoy having here. And as time goes on, I truly believe that the collecting value will overshadow the stacking value. Of course, like I was saying, it's always good to have a mix there and be able to do both at the same time. I'm curious to see what you think. If you're a stacker or a collector, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. So please don't forget to leave me that comment. And as always, thank you so much for watching.